Hello, Joe. He's joined. Right, stream's back up. I'm hoping my game is fine, and I'm hoping the stream is picking me up completely fine as well. So, bit stupid from me there. Now, should be a good sprint race. I will admit the stream was wrong, but now it's all fixed. Anyway, it should be the sprint race here in Suzuka. 5 lights on. And it's a jump start from Rocky, but it's go, 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 go at the start of the grid. Sophie leads the way. Rocky drops to the back. Further back we see all sorts of overtakes going on. Few drivers running wide. A bit of contact there between a fast-moving Aston Martin and the rest of the field. We watch the mid-pack and there's a big crash, and that's Don and Denny in the wall. I believe there's been more collisions there as we see a spinning Haas of gold. He's been involved with Bartek and Rocky. So I'm not quite sure what's going on at the back of the field here, but it's all kicked off. As we look towards the front of the field, it's all a bit more calm. Sophie's leading the way from Middle and Afsik. Sways has jumped up to P4, Dafu P5, Aspect there getting ahead of the Alpine of Chicken, who's jumped up to P8 on that start from P13. So there's been a lot of fast movers, and there's been a big incident in the hairpin, I feel. Rocky involved, Don involved, Gold involved, those three all having a kerfuffle there, and there's an Alpine wide. Finn making contact with Aspect, who's made his way up to P6 on the opening lap there. So there's the order that you can see now. We're going to watch Aspect being chased down by Finn. So we'll see who can do what as we come to the end of the opening lap. The bollard's been knocked flying there. And Sophie currently sets the fastest lap. Bartek down in P9 there. Compared to the last time he raced here, it's a lot easier, but we see Aspect on the outside of turn 1 touching Dafu. That could have been a very bad move to make there, but luckily it's clean from the two of them. Now, of course, this being a 50% full race means the sprint race is only 9 laps. Rocky is serving his penalty there, and Gold is going through the pit lane, I think, with damage. Yeah, he is. I think he's changed his front wing. There was definitely a near spin or some contact there between Synth or SMX and Jacob there, so I think the battle we should be looking at here is Chicken chasing up to the back of Finn, into the hairpin. Finn loses it, almost tags the back of Dafu. That could have been very bad for the two of them. It looked like he locked the rears entering the corner and just went spinning round. I believe that's Rocky having a moment. But as we look, we've got a fast charging Aston Martin. The Flying Dutchman, as he's been mentioned before, is really climbing towards the back end of that Mercedes there of Sways. Both of them, of course, goats in their own respected way. Both of them really good. Sways at the start of his really major motorsport career here, I feel. He's a lot younger than a few of the other drivers in the field here, I feel. But can he hold it against the more experienced Aston Martin driver, who has a bit of a snap of oversteer there? Chicken now ahead of Finn, so I'm not quite sure what happened there. Down the straight we go. We see Sways trailing Afsik, but Sophie right now is the one who is controlling the race. There's yellow flags in the final corner. There's a Red Bull spun, so big drama in that pack there, but we see the two Alpines were fighting there for a second. Sways at risk here from Aspect, right on board with the Dutch Aston driver here as he runs through turn 7 into the Degners. They touch. It's very close between those two, but can he do anything through Degner 2? I don't think he can. He's just being caught out. Finn here gets ahead of Dafu, but loses the rear through the gravel. Denny has come into the pit lane there for, I think, a new front wing, as has become customary on the opening laps of this sprint race. They come through into Spoon. They're side by side. Who's going to be on front? It's going to be Aspect, and he's going to be going against Afsik here at the front end of the field. As my keyboard flashes in severe pain for some reason. The Red Bulls round again in the hairpin. Jacob not having the best of days at the moment. It has to be said. Sophie under risk from Mido, but through the chicane. Afspec versus Afsic. They don't give an inch to each other. One's on the softs, one's on the mediums. The softs driver just pelts his way through with the DRS. Mido takes the lead into turn 1 with the DRS. Afspec gets into the podium places. Wow. This sprint race is turning out to be all the racing you need this weekend by the look of it. Drama, crashes and everything, and they're still fighting through turn 1, the Alpine versus the Sauber. So those two really enjoy having a battle with each other. And we see towards the front end of the field, Mido from Sophie. Those two are going to have to keep it clean in order to try and maximise what they can. So, through the hairpin they go. Lap 4 of 9. We're just over halfway as it stands at this moment in time. Aspect, the man in P3, I think he's going to bide his time here. He's going to wait for a chance to abuse the fact the two in front are fighting. Sways versus Afsec here. These two have been a bit slept on this weekend, but they should be locked into a fight. But there's Aspect getting ahead of Sophie. Oh, I'm missing all the action here today. Aspect said he's on a mission here in this league, and I think that mission is a championship. As we look through to 130R. Not a move for Sways at the moment. Through the chicane, the three of them are separated by just under half a second. But Sways, Mido is going to lose the lead to Aspect, who sets the fastest lap we've seen today in this sprint race. Of course, there's no points for the sprint fastest lap. Sways getting ahead there of the Ferrari, and there's yellows in the hairpin for Denny. Whatever he's done, he's patched and cleared now. So I wouldn't be threatened too much. But if I were Aspect, I'd be really happy there's only one DRS zone on this track. All he needs to do is try and gain a second by 130R, and there's been a collision. Finn and Chicken have come together. The yellow flag's out there. I saw a car dart off the mini-map there, so hopefully Chicken's able to gain on where he was before and hopefully to get back up into that position. Finn as well, lucky to get out of that as he did. But unfortunately Aspect has run off with the lead here. So, unless we get something major happen in this sprint race, which I don't think we will, it will be problems. And there's a yellow flag for a Red Bull who's backwards through the S's, who's decided to retire from the race. There's also a slow Williams there. We ride on board with him. He's going to be a threat from the Haas. So with the Red Bull's second retirement in as many races entered, it marks a low point for the team there. As we see here, Sophie straight lining past Mido. Aspect has absolutely clocked out here. He knows the setups, he knows the strats for the track, so he's going to be flying here. His teammate got 1 point left. Jacob has left the session, not too sure as to why. But and Bartek gets a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. I'm pretty sure Bartek did pick up some damage there, that's why he's pitted. He's currently sat in 10th. It's going to be unlikely he comes out any high position here. Through the chicane, there's yellow flags. It's Rocky facing backwards. I believe he's made contact with Gold. That might have saved Bartek maybe a point. Maybe not. Well, it won't be a point because of where they are, but Rocky on the main straight spins. Not quite sure what he's doing. But for now, it's a sprint to forget for him. These two here will be the closest battle at the moment. Yeah, as we can see for now. There's yellows in the first sector and Rocky's retired. So if we ride with Denny, we can see he's chosen to retire on his own accord there. Not quite sure why. Middo gets back ahead of Sophie. Lap 7 of 9 to go. And Aspect has clocked out with the lead of the race. Sways in P4, Afsik P5, and everyone else a bit of a gap to the next person. Oh, and we see the McLaren there of Denny running really deep. The Bulgarian really making a bit of a cat's ear of that. So as we watch the race leader, he's coming here to lap the McLaren driver who sat well off the track. Not sure as to the reason why he stopped there. He's on lap 6. The safety car won't be coming out due to the vicinity left of the race. So if he's trying to cause one, that would be a penalty. He's going to come out here ahead of Afsik, I feel. Just behind him, Finn is the next car on track. He's going to be passing Denny here, so not sure why the McLaren driver pulled off the track like that in the way he did, but he certainly did something there. Back to the battle for P2. And then the two Alpines are now fighting with each other, so this could be a very tight battle. The two men in pink. Pink and blue and pink. Those two are going to attempt possible moves on the main straight here, but we see Middo here trying to defend from Sophie. Manages to hold on for now. We see that Chicken touching the grass on the entry of the chicane as they enter the last lap. Denny pits. I think it's the safe thing to do in his position here, but they come across the start-finish line. Both of them in the points. So it'd be stupid if they have an incident here. Into turn 1 they go. Dafu just backs out, but Chicken goes deep. Can Dafu get the cutback on his teammate? No, he can't. It looks like for now Chicken is going to be the one ahead. And it would be Dafu sitting just behind. So at the moment, those two seem to be settling each other's problems. We see Aspect going wide. Next lap is the last lap. I had my laps in the wrong order slightly. But the Mercedes duo seems to be getting quite close here with Sophie. So, or at least with the hairpin, it looks quite close. We'll see where these guys can end up in this race, as Aspect is going to cross the line for the final lap here. It's going to take the main straight for the final racing tour on this race. Denny, I believe, has gone around again at the hairpin. We see Bartek there. Denny staying off the track to let Bartek through. Really not the sprint race from him that he would have wanted. At the moment, it's looking like it's going to be mid-OP 2 for the sprint here. So, at this moment in time, all is calm in the Japanese areas of the track. And as it looks like Bartek would be finishing P10 here at the moment, so... Oh, and deep! Deep goes Sways! Sways has thrown away a possible podium here. And there's a yellow flag out. I think that's for Denny in the final corner. So we'll see. I do agree, Joe. This is a bit of a BTCC race. But I've just realised I've been... Have I? I think I've been muted. I was just saying stuff. I accidentally muted myself there. I just found out. I feel a bit stupid. Bartek's going to come across the line in P10. He's going to serve a 10-second penalty. Will Gold be able to get ahead of Bartek is the question. No, he won't. That is the sprint race, the 9 laps of the sprint race, done and dusted. Just a reminder to the drivers, you can report FIA things in my DMs. Anyway, as we can see, there is the finishing order. There's the drivers who will be getting what points. Aspec, the Dutch driver, from last to first. I'm going to sort of pile up, then get de-skewed on purpose. That's not how that works. Anyway, we can see the drivers just arguing with themselves in general there. A few near incidents, a few near misses. I have a feeling this main race might be even more action-packed with a few more safety cars. Again, if you'd like to report things, please report them via FIA tickets. Or my DMs. And I need to very quickly, if it will allow me, the session starts in a minute. We have the next qualifying session here. Of course, the game forces us to do qualifying. I don't really mind that much. But yeah, so everyone has to contest with one more qualifying. And then they will contest with the main race. Here today, I think I've still got Joe. Yeah, there he is. There is our FIA member and possible future co-commentator. Yeah, if you get a main seat, someone's going to get replaced. That's all I'm saying. If you get a podium, Sophie, there's someone's going to get replaced. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, I also urge the drivers not to use AI mode very frequently because that would be very nice. But FIA man is now here. I don't know why Jacob has left the stage, or apparently left the stage. Not sure what's going on there. Yeah, please don't, Bartek. Please don't use AI. Anyway, the first drivers are going out on their laps. I believe the first man out on track is Finn here, so we'll see what these drivers could do over the next 16 minutes and 40 seconds here. Game said error, got to restart, that's fine. Mr. Joe, he will be our FIA assistant. Remember, all FIA clips are suitable for up to an hour by the end. Basically, you've got an hour to submit FIA clips. And if you guys would like to clip things, please do and share them with your friends. But anyway, we are 2 minutes in and no one has set a lap so far. Mainly because everyone's already on out laps. Everyone is just taking a moment there. We'll see. Luckily with this stream thing I can be able to tell when results are. I mean, message things by about 5 different people, including something from Gold, which I'll be having a look at in a moment. There we go. He's got his invite, and as we can see, Finn has just started his push lap. So we'll see as it's. Let's just enable our lap data so we can see where people go. But yeah, a lot of drivers out on their lap so far, but the man we are focusing on here is Finn. as he's the first man to go out on track in the nicer of the many kick-style deliveries we have seen throughout recent history in Formula 1. Really nice to see that he is doing that, because it's better than the actual one. Anyway, he's going to come across the line here. Let's see what this banker lap is looking like. Across the line, it's going to be a 1:30.3. That is a very, very okay first lap. I believe the next man across the line might be Chicken, which it is. We just catch him late. But he sits at 20.9, so he could be one as a threat here. As Assetto goes to the 28s. My, oh my. Aspec into the 27s. It's one lap after another here. Eat your heart out if you like. Rocky goes to P5. Next man to settle up was him. We'll see. Denny sets a 1:35. Yellow flags come out there in sector 1 and 2. Whatever that mishap is, it's now cleared up. I think it involved Dafu. There's now a yellow flag, I think, for Rocky there. It's people just slowing up for each other. These things we don't need to really look at. What we do really want to look at, though, is if Dafu is on a lap, which he, pardon me, which I don't think he is, it's going to be Sways, the next man across the line. The question is, how fast is he? He's gone, what it shows us purple in the middle sector there, so we may be able to see something really cool here as he comes around the final corner. It's looking fast. Is it going to be fast? No, it's going to be P3. Here we see Denny following Bartek. These two have a bit of argy-bargy in the first race. I think we've got a yellow there for, yeah, Sophie going deep. So she set her banker and it's not gone too well. Bartek, I believe, is on another push lap here, so we'll see what he can perform, what he could possibly perform here. Same with Denny. Those two currently in an artificially inflated position. We need to wait till everyone has set at least a banker to see where these people can go. And that yellow flag is for Mercedes. I think they're just keeping out the way for the Aston Martin, doing a push, doing an outlap there. So across the line, do either driver improve? One does. And I think that's, yes it is. That is Rocky without half a wing, so he may have had his own incident there, but we're not too sure. Pretty sure he'll be very vocal in general about what has happened there. We've got Mido across the line to start his most recent push lap. Sways, I've just realised, set a 1:28.888, so that lap couldn't have been any more perfect if he tried. Let's see what this sort of thing can continue on producing to us. Nerve aspect. Crash in Degna 2 to let Mido through, that's fair. As we see, Mido currently is now on his push lap here. This is a sort of lap with, I don't know why that yellow flag came out, because I don't think a driver ran wide there, but we'll see. Don will be the next man we watch on his lap. As I believe that's a yellow for an Alpine there. Letting someone through, which would be the right thing to do, that being Dafu. Gold is also now out on a lap, so hopefully we'll be able to see where those guys come in a second or two. Rounding the spoon curve he goes, Mido here, down the main, down the straight towards 130R. Really the back straight of the circuit. He has set a really fast time. Compare that to Sway's Mr. Hamilton there in P3. We could see him beating his teammate here outright around the final chicane. Into the final corner we go, down the hill. Across the line he goes, P4. The next man on a lap is Don. He's going to have the slipstream of the Haas, who just gets out of his way at the right time there. Let's see where this Aston Martin can go. The one Aston Martin's on pole. If we can get a second Aston Martin in the top 5, I'm sure the team will be very, very happy with it. We'll see what can happen. He's not as fast as the others who are around that mark that he's aiming for, but he sure will be up there. believe that's blue flags for Duffy letting someone through there. So as he comes around the final corner, he jumps up to P9. The next man to set a lap will be Gold here. So we'll see where that puts him. Daffy will be just behind him. So when those two both cross the line, it will be pretty much whoever gets to the lap in there. Aspect just giving himself the biggest clean air gap he possibly can as someone exits the pit lane. Gold through turn 1 and 2, keeping it clean into 3 and 4. This flat out curve. 5 here. Turn 6 is this lovely slight downhill. And then you rise up for turn 7, the Dunlop curve. Turn 8 and 9 of the Degness. He drifts it there through Dunlop. Through the Degness he goes. Very fast through there. It's a 34 in the first sector. That's all you really need to care about at this point in time. We saw him have a decent qualifying for the sprint race after contact with Bartek put him down the order, preventing him from scoring any points at all. Of course, Selman on the board, Alpine on the board as well. Aston Martin, of course, on the board. Williams looking to score in the main race here, as their major hope was taken away from them after that retirement from Rocky in the sprint, which is for an unknown reason at the moment. But we'll see what happens. Through he goes. He's still a bit down on everyone else, but he should be good to shoot back up the order here. We'll see what car number 75 can produce. Comes around the final corner. Doesn't tuck to the wall, taking the longer line. P9. And then we've got the Futures Orange Dafu up to P5. Wow. Stellar lap there from the Alpine driver, who slows down on the main straight. Sophie here also on a push lap, or should be on a push lap. The initial lap she did was a bankerous Aspect. Goes even faster. 2 seconds faster nearly than the nearest car. I believe that's Don who's had a moment in the middle in the first sector, but we are tracking Sophie here. Hopefully in the main race we'll be able to keep the track clear and going. 8 seconds up so far for Sophie. That's a very fast out lap, first proper lap so far. We see here from her, the Scots. Around the final corner we go. This is going to be a really fast time, I feel. P2 for Sophie. Wow. Stellar qualifier in her right there. Even though her race pace may be equal, she's still very fast. As that happens, F6 said P2 is a win for me right now. Oh. Isn't the world such a cruel place? Cycle through here to see what exactly is going on. We see Dafu here, currently sat P6. The Alpine team 6-7 at the moment. I'm sure a few of you fans will be foaming at the mouth after I say that. A few of you, we absolutely loving it, but hey ho, I have to do at least one to keep everyone tame. Or else they'll go doolally. Currently P10 is Rocky, the Williams driver who was taken out and is now laughing severely at the joke I made there. Taken out last race on the first lap after a collision with Hen. So he's not actually completed a full race lap yet. He's completed a sprint race. He didn't even complete a sprint race. He has currently an 100% retirement record, so hopefully this main race, things should go in his favour. If it doesn't go in his favour, then I will be greatly disappointed. Rocky needs to be focusing on driving, mate, not spamming 6-7. Aspect has told Sophie to hit a 27, so take of that as you will. At the moment, I think Middo is on a push lap here. He's 2 seconds up, 2 tenths up at the moment. I wish he was 2 seconds up. Oh, and there's Middo. Middo coming across Denny backwards in the middle of the track there. Complete surprise to me. That's whoa. But a backwards car in the middle of a hairpin is not what you want to be having. Chicken there retiring. I'm not sure as to what's happened there. I believe that Sway's going on board. Yeah, Chicken's car is still there. Whether it has damage or not, I can't actually tell. Doesn't look like it, so Chicken is retired out of his own fruition there. I'm sure I'll get a response as to why in general in a second. But Mido across the start-finish line here. Second fastest. Even faster than Sophie. This is going to be, I have a feeling, a closely contended P2. Chicken apparently retiring because he went out on old soft. Not quite sure. I mean, there was 4 minutes left. Surely you could have at least salvaged something from that Chicken. Come on. My oh my, what a weird qualifying we're having. Mido there, completing laps up to P2. Afsik able to start his push lap here. Most of the field actually within the 129s. So Dafu saying the Alpine duo is quite matched on pace, which is quite good to have a set of teammates to have. Similar pace means better for the team. That's all I can really say. I was going to say something else, but I completely lost track of my thought. So pace fun. We've got yellow flags in turn one. I think it's just people letting other people through, which is the customary theme here in qualifying. Of when you're not up against AI, it's customary to let your people behind through. Seem to be hit with a spout of minor hiccups there. I am sorry. I'm trying my best to not do it down the mic. Oh, and Mido is out. So maybe... Oh yeah, I think Mido is done due to the time left in the session. So don't expect to see any more laps from him. Afsik, Rocky, is also out there. I think that's of his own fruition. But Afsik up by a few decimal places there. Let's see what he's able to do. The McLaren is Denny, if you're wondering, Mido. If you've clipped it, then report it. Across the line goes Afsik. Can't improve. He was a second down. Almost killed you both. Well, the next man on lap here is Sways. 16 seconds down at the moment. I don't expect to see anything from him here. Bartek, as we join onto him, cutting through the gravel there of the Degners in front of Dafu there. So yellow flags for an Aston Martin here, who has stopped to let everyone through. I think he had his own incident pulled off there to be safe. Rocky apparently crashing after a crash, and Aspect getting himself disqualified for sitting in a dangerous position. He said he would do this, so you know, he'll be starting last. That's Afsik in the hairpin going slowly, not sure why. Bartek 2 seconds down on his previous fast lap here. 27 laps of the race is what we're forecasting, and Aspect is going to try go up the way through the field. We see everyone here though rounding the final corner to see if they can improve their times. So across the line, Bartek gets a bit of slipstream there. Doesn't improve his time. People are talking strategy in general. So Mido would currently start on pole position there, from what we believe. The question is, can Sophie take that pole? Gold is slow through the Degners. Not quite sure the reasoning why. Here we see Sophie, the fastest woman currently. Sophie will get pole is what people are currently saying. I think that Mercedes... Oh, and there goes Bartek spinning in front of Sophie. That could have been a very big crash. I have a feeling Sophie already a 10th up. And that's a really crucial step, because if she's a 10th up, she's already ahead of Mido. So for now, Sophie's fastest. Sent the most recent retirement. I think he's crashed into the pit entry there. Sophie is going to come across the second timing split here. Afsik retires. He can't improve. We're going to have a lot of retirements here. Bartek retiring as well. We have Sophie 2 tenths up at the moment. This is going to be the lap for pole position here. I don't think anyone else is going to dethrone her at the moment. She could become the first ever female in the second race to start on pole across the line. She is on pole. Swayze is the next man. 700ths up at the moment. Small margins for him at the moment. Could you please finish your lap? You know who you are. For now, Sophie's on pole. Can Swayze jump ahead of his teammate? He hits the curbs and almost crashes into the wall. That, I feel, is your session over. If you could just cross the line, please. Yeah, just cross the line, please, Swayze. It'll be easier and less time if you just do that rather than into the pit lane. That's his lap over, so we see an end. Sophie on pole. I love the fact that V-Carb DNF'd over the line and got stuck there. 27 ups. Swayze horrid with the setups at the moment. Too twitchy. But there is your qualifying order. The first Scotswoman on pole and the first ever female on pole in this league. No offense, but if you crash, I'll be happy, says Sophie to Aspect. Let's see the list of major incidents here. Dafu speeding the pit lane. A lot of people getting warnings. Sway's got a lap invalid, so at the moment we see a lot of stuff. Anyway, we now have the main meal, the major event all of you have been waiting for here. The feature / main race in Suzuka. This is set to be one of the craziest races in this league so far. Yes, it's only round 2, but prior experience tells me if this is the second round, it's going to be absolutely mental. Well, judging by the response of the amount of people here, a lot of people have been waiting for this, Rocky, so womp womp. Anyway, local time. It's something like ridiculous o'clock in the morning, but for me it's currently 7:08. Race should take at longest an hour, and I assume that's if, you know, everyone goes as slow as possible, because it will time out after that point. We'll see. The race is starting. The grid is set. The lights are on. For the second time this season for a full race, it is go, go, go. Nobody jumps to the start this time, and it's a pretty even match for the whole field here. We'll focus on the Williams driver as we go through turn 1, and they're all going all over the place. The Aston Martin in the background is Synth running into the wall. Ferraris are all over the track. Asic getting forced all the way down the order there after running wide. The Alpines are 4th and 5th. We've got the McLaren there of Denny falling down the order. The Red Bull being overtaken easily there. I think they're in AI mode. If they are, I'm not too sure what's going on. Synth at the very back, and there's more running wide. That is someone, I can't tell. Avsic to the back again, and there's more collisions. Oh, and the McLaren's off. Denny into the wall. It's unclear whether or not he has damage. He has big damage there. Through the hairpin they go. There was a collision there between Bartek and Aspect, I feel. The Alpines running line astern there. We continue watching as it all starts to calm down slightly. Denny is slow on this initial lap here because of his front wing damage. But as we can see, Rocky so far might be on to complete one racing lap this season. He's well away from the nearest Red Bull driver. Chicken there getting overtaken by Aspect. Through the chicane they go for the first time. They run down the hill. Denny is going slow on the back straight. Not sure as to why. We got Rocky here with Gold trailing him and Finn next to him. And in the background you see Afsik versus Jacob. Oh, and there's contact. Gold hits the back of Finn. Runs very deep and hits the wall. He's going to rejoin behind almost the entire field. Denny staying out with half a front wing there. not sure to the reasoning of his strategy choices here. Dafu being chased down here by Aspect. Into the Degners they go. Dafu's taking none of it. Chicken's also there running up the rear gunner, so it could be Aspect. A threat from the Alpines. Into the hairpin they go. Aspect tries it, taps Dafu. Bit of a dirty move from him. He gives up the pace, knowing that's not how you're meant to be overtaking around this track. He's got the pace here. The slipstream is powerful into Spoon. He has the inside line. He's going to slightly run Dafu wide. There's not a lot of room through that part of the track. But he gets out ahead of Dafu. He now needs to try run a second clear to try and get DRS and keep Dafu out of his DRS, because DRS should be enabled on this lap. So, for now, Dafu is going to stay in the DRS, meaning he's going to be threatening Aspect here, possibly with a move on DRS. So if he holds the lead by a second, Dafu does have the DRS and so does Chicken. We'll keep tabs on that battle, but there's a big kerfuffle of cars behind. Afsik really in the wrong place here. Rocky versus Finn. Rocky lets Finn through. He knows there's no point in fighting a DRS. Gold into the pit lane, I believe, to fix his front wing damage here. Which I would be correct in saying he is doing. Aspect now on the rear end of Sways. Sways just lets him through. He knows there's no point in trying to fight the Aston Martin here, who goes purple. See a lot of different lines. Oh, Red Bull. Red Bull car involved. Rocky involved with the Red Bull. Oh, and Finn goes wide and hits Jacob in the side. Sways is right on him here. Through the hairpin they go. It's going to be tight. It's going to be dicey. Finn can't get the switch back. He's in the way. But he just gets through. This battle of the back. Battle of the mid-pack. Battle for the points. Oh, he's going to force his way through. And the yellow flags are out. It's for Chicken, who's without a front wing and dropping down the order. And it is a form of intervention. I believe it's a VSC, not a full safety car. Big drama there for the Brits in this race. And Aspect pits. Under the VSC, Aspect chooses the pit lane on lap 4. Chicken, of course, will be in the pit lane here. Bartek chooses to pit as well. Chicken, no choice but to pit. This has saved Golden. Denny slightly here. Those two having damage early on. Synth is in as well. Finn is in. Rocky is in. Oh, Rocky getting a very sneaky overtake there on the Aston Martin driver. Gold gets a penalty for speeding through the pit lane. Well, I don't know why that came so late, but this happened. Sophie's back into the lead. It's a Dafu P4, both Mercedes cars, second and third. We've also got a whole gaggle of cars together on track who've come out the pit lane together. Oh, it's a full safety car. So the full safety car is out this lap, which is probably why everyone chose the pit lane. I think it was originally a VSC, but the full safety car has come out, so that has saved Gold, and it has saved Denny there. Bartek now gets a penalty for speeding under the safety car. That would make sense why Gold got a penalty for speeding under the safety car. I misread it. So those two should be able to clear their names with a pit stop, I would hope. But we see the major pack climbing towards the safety car. So after Chicken loses the wing, I believe that's why we have the safety car. It's because of that positioning. You can see where the skid marks were from Chicken's accident there. Seen many a big accident in my time of commentating, I can tell you that. Look at the ALR footage at Japan. It's the biggest crash I've witnessed. Sophie's in. It's a Mercedes double stack. Oh, and they touch. Sways hits the back of Middle in the pit lane, and Dafu gets the penalty for speeding in the pit lane. This is going to be some dramatic stuff here. Mercedes will lose a place because of this pit stop and the damage. Dafu's release into P4 again. Assetto takes the lead. Aspect is going to jump back up the order. He's going to come out P2 behind Assetto. Assetto, who has not pitted this race. Leader is with the safety car. Bartek currently down in P8 there. He's going to try and match his personal best race finish of a P4 position here. It'll be slightly harder to do, I feel, given our now inflated field cap. Race will go on if we have 7 or more drivers. Anything less and the race will be aborted and cancelled and won't happen. How fun. Luckily we've got nearly double that, so... over double that, I should say. Gold there running deep. Currently in last place is Denny. So for now, McLaren have had a season to forget. Bartek now at the back of the field. Don't know why Sways let Bartek through. Not quite sure that's the reason what game he's playing there, but Bartek lets him back through. Dafu gets a penalty for collision with Middo under the safety car there. The only way that would happen is if Middo got damage from that, but he didn't, so I'm not too sure what the penalty system is playing at this game. I'm pretty sure the drivers should just drive it the way they want. They also, the ones that made it clear last weekend, they made it very clear that they would like to have the in-game penalties count. So... also, Duffy, you should be able to get rid of the penalties under pitting anyway. There should be more stops coming. Because there's no way anyone's going to make it up to the end from lap 5 to 27 on a hard set of tyres to have some pace with the safety cars happening. Sways darts to the pit lane there, so... not sure why. Daffy, yeah, you could have got rid of it under the safety car and not lost too much, but... oh, Sways there with big ring damage. Changing the front wing there. He's going to come out. He's on the softs, I do believe. He was on the hards. So he's choosing to battle through the field till the end here. Safety car, I believe, will be in this lap if Denny is able to catch up to the pack in due course. Bartek now P7 because of that pit stop. No, Duffy, they're not stop and goes. They just added on to the pit stop time. Aspect has said he's on a 2-stopper, so the whole field can marvel at his choice to say that publicly. And I do believe if Denny can just get as fast as he can, we can go green here. We can try and get up to the pack as fast as he can. I'm hoping we can go green. He's now at the end of the pack. We should get the notification here as they cross the start-finish line. Yeah, safety car in. So we'll see, can Afsik hold on from Aspect on the race start? Some people for some reason call him Aspect A-Spec. I'm not sure as to the reason why that is, but we get the wide angle shot. He's going to come around the final corner. It's his choice when to go. Of course, you can't overtake till the start-finish line, but he's choosing to go now. Green flags wave. And Gold darts into the pit lane there. They're already overtaking each other. Bartek getting ahead of the Red Bull driver. Rocky now fighting Aspect into the lead as Afsik goes deep. Big drama there in the mid-pack for him. The Red Bull driver getting tossed down the field like nobody's business. Fighting there with Chicken around the edge as they go. Mental stuff. Oh, and there's a Sauber deep. That is Finn miles off the road there. He's going to rejoin safely. Bartek here, overtaken by Rocky. Dafflin's just behind. Bartek deep. Synth is going to go through, almost takes out the Red Bull. The Alpine loses a winglet. That's Chicken, who's at risk. And Chicken darts down the inside, and there's a big bit of contact between several drivers. Chicken still just coming out of the wall there. So Alpine's day going from okay to mediocre at the moment. Aspect has the lead. Afsik falling down a few places. Bartek gets a penalty for multiple warnings. He gets passed by Sways, as that so happens. Gold pitting to remove his penalty. I think that was the smartest thing he could have done on that safety car restart. Pitting and getting out of all of that initial open lap drama as Bartek runs over and braking board and drives into the back of Sways. That is definitely going to be a penalty for Bartek for a complete slam into the back of. Sway's getting a penalty for that, but it shouldn't affect him too much because I believe he would have had a penalty either way for corner cutting at the rate he was going at. So, oh, there's issues at turn 1. The McLaren's off, involved in the crash with Finn. So at the front, Sophie has retaken the lead. Ferrari service Bartek's car. He gets back out into the race, quite far behind the rest of the pack. I have a feeling we've got two cars at similar pace. Aspect locks up, drives into Sophie. They both enter ghosting. If I were Aspect, I'd be a bit more careful trying to overtake, because an overtake like that could spell a bit of disaster if done wrong. This is going to allow Sophie a chance at DRS down the main straight again. And at the moment, I'm sure that's where she'd rather be rather than leading the race. In the DRS, Aspect, Afsik going off the track, Mido going through. There's your P1, P2, P3 and P4. Don getting overtaken by Sways, and that's Bartek around again. Sophie will have the DRS. We've got more yellows as Denny has made contact with the wall, I believe. Sophie here. Darts to the outside. Is she going to try and make it work? She can't. Just gets the door closed on her. She's going to have to keep trailing that Aston Martin like she's never trailed a car before. Both Aston Martins currently in the points. It could be a very good race. Denny there in the pit lane. Sophie runs deep. Losing a lot of time there. That won't help. We've seen in the sprint that Aspect can dart off into the distance of the race. Oh, and we see Rocky there looking up into the barriers. Resets the track wisely, doing, and it causes a crash between Finn and the Red Bull. Chicken monopolizes and gets through. All sorts of kerfuffles going on there. Bartek currently sat at the back end of the field. He's approaching on Denny there as Bartek cuts the track. Not quite sure what he was trying to achieve there, but Rocky losing the rear quite a lot, gets passed by Chicken and gets passed by the Red Bull of Jacob. Finn here trying to pass him as well. I think Rocky has given up trying to go to the pit lane to get that car serviced. Mido here chasing down Sophie for that P2 position. We ride on the nose cone of Mido here. We fly towards the back of the V-carb. First ever V-carb on pole. Rocky's in the pit lane there to service that front wing. Mido there being chased down by Bartek now, as we can see. Those two flying towards each other at a great rate of knots. Into the final chicane they're going to go. Can Bartek pull a pretty nice move here? He did in round one. He got driver of the day for it. DRS, he runs down the main straight. Into turn 1, got the inside line. Oh, they crash! The two cars hit, a Ferrari and a McLaren, into turn 1 at Suzuka. Reminiscent of the 1990s. Denny brushes the wall with the front left. I think that was a bit of 50-50 there. They're back going again. But that was a huge bit of drama. That could have been easily another safety car there. Dafu currently chasing down Assetto. For P4. Dafu's going to have the DRS here down the main straight. They go into one of the fastest corners in F1. Dafu darts to the inside. On the previous lap, it was the Ferrari on the inside. Now it's the Ferrari on the outside with a different car trying to overtake it. One overtaking, one being overtaken here almost. Dafu stays behind. The Red Bull and the Haas are in the pit lane now. So we'll see what the Red Bull pits onto and what the Haas pits onto. Haas into the pit lane. I can't actually identify what tyres they are. Red Bull in what appears to be a set of softs. And a new front wing. The Haas was in for a set of hards. What about the Red Bull? Yeah, Red Bull was in for a set of softs. So perhaps several strategies being played out at once here. Perplexing to me is the reason why you choose softs in this stage of the race, as we've got a yellow flag. It is for Denny, who is backwards through the chicane. Really finding a course of not facing the right way at this point in time. Finally found his way back into a rhythm of going forwards instead of backwards. Sophie here is at risk from Middo. Middo should have the DRS. Yes, he does. Middo chasing Sophie here into turn 1. Oh, Afsik pits. Dafu's going to get through. We see Middo trying around the outside. Afsik gets a pit speed penalty. Middo can't make the move done. Dafu stays P4. Gets P4 from that pit. Synth is also in. Chicken stays out. Finn is behind him. Those two should come out into a nice empty gap of track with no one on it. Many drivers catching it to each other. Yellow flags in their hairpin for Denny again. He's found it customary getting yellows and such brought out for him in the last couple of laps, hasn't he? Many incident involving him today. Not his day at all. So far, all the cars that have started are still running, which is something a miracle, to be fair. Judging by how some of the drivers have been treating the other drivers here today. A bit more like an open lobby at some cases, but here we still are. Into the chicane they go. Denny is ahead of the two of them. Need to be careful and wary of that. We're right on board with Sophie. For a brief second there through the final corner. And there is an incident between the Red Bull and the Haas. Red Bull deeply off there for a split second or two. Anyways, we go back to Dafu versus Sways. They bang wheels. They touch heavily into turn 1. They both survive. Denny now in front of Sophie, so blue flags will be out for the McLaren driver. If he doesn't yield, it will be a penalty. Finn blasting past Chicken there. Yellow flags are out for Denny, who is well off the track. Oh, and that's Gold. Gold is out. Spun into the wall, and that is a safety car. Denny retiring at the same time, so the first two retirements come at the same portion of time. Rocky managing to get to the pit lane at the right time there. The three at the back get a free pit stop here compared to the rest of the field. Maybe those with penalties might be able to serve them here as well. It is the hards for Rocky. The Red Bull stays out. If I were Bartek, I'd definitely glance into the pit lane to try and get one of his penalties removed here, which he does. You can go as slow as you like at this point in time. Bartek will get a penalty removed. And the question is, will Aspect come in for the set of mediums he said about. It is about now where you'd want to be moving to a set of mediums. He stays out. Aspect, I could beg, could you go really slow so Bartek doesn't get laps? I want to try and keep... I'm trying to avoid the amount of people that are laps. Right, yeah, he's ahead. You can go now. Sophie and Mido are in. Will Swayze come in? No, he won't. Dafu will. Hopefully Dafu can get one of those penalties removed. He's coming nice and safe. Mido there onto a set of mediums. Sophie onto a set of mediums. What will Dafu pit onto is the real question here. He's charging that penalty. I think it's onto a set of mediums. The Finn and Chicken are in, and Finn gets a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So an Alpine double stack. It might actually work here. Finn onto a set of hards. F6 also in, Chicken in. It is for a set of mediums, and it is a wing change on the Alpine. I think Synth is staying out there, so he's choosing not to. F6 clearing a penalty that he got earlier. So he'll be stationary onto a set of mediums in a moment, and that's the whole field essentially covered for pit stops at the moment in time. A few people staying out. Will the Red Bull come in? No, he won't. So a second safety car finally putting two cars to rest. Real drama around the midpoint of this race. Dafu has apparently only got used compounds left. Going to slow the pits, pit assist equals me. Okay, there's an argument going on between those two. If pit lane assist is on, then nothing much can really be done about it, so... Let's take a moment so I can catch my breath after all of what has just happened in the last 25 minutes in this race. See Bartek there, finally catching a small bit of a break. No threats from the people behind him anymore. Those with penalties should get them sorted out by the end of this race, I would hope. In fact, let's have a look at what people got. Let's have a look at stops. We can see who has one stop, two stopped, and even the people at the back have three stopped at the moment there. So look at the tyres. We can see the Red Bull is on the soft, everyone else on the mediums or hards. Penalties wise, there's a 10-second for Dafu and Finn. Those two should be able to get all of that sorted by the end of the race. Aspect, the man up 13 positions from where he started. At the moment, we're just waiting for the rest of the field to catch up, so this might be a pretty lengthy safety car. Not really much to say under this safety car. Safety car will be in next lap because everyone should be caught up by then. And my goodness, am I hoping they are. Yeah, not much to say. The right times. Really great time, didn't he? Apparently mediums are willing to do around 15 laps, so maybe a few of the drivers can be saved by that information. If there's certain mediums that have got a lap on them, then, or if there's a really late safety car. I think it's happening with Sways there. I think he's just having a bit of a lag issue. I can't control the game. You might get a penalty for it. I don't know what happens. If you spun, then you can't. Someone can quickly confirm to me what happened to Sways, then I might be able to piece together what's happened, because I'm watching the front of the pack. He disappeared. Right, if he disappeared, could you try and give the positions back to him? Because if it was a game bug, we should be allowed to get the places back. I don't know how he... Sways has just rage quit. That stuff is outside my control, Sways. I can't control how the game functions. From a prospect of a championship to being a retirement in the second race. Okay, well it's a bug with AI then. I can't control a bug with the game, Sways. Anyway, safety car in this lap. We'll see, can Aspect win the race? And Chicking, that's a 10-second penalty for a collision with Finn. That penalty should get cleared out in a pit stop. But we'll see, will he be able to launch off the line? We'll be spectating Sophie on the restart, so we can really compare how those guys crack up against each other. Bartek is overtaking Rocky. The safety car is not in yet. We see across the line they go. They have to go from here. Sophie under threat here from Middo into turn 1. Middo takes that position. Or does he? He's almost into the lead, is Middo. So Don has apparently left the session. Not sure the reasoning as to what happened with him there. The rest of the field is all sort of bunched up together. The Williams at the back. The Alpine's making a move on the Ferrari, who goes deep. And so does the Alpine. So several people making up and losing places. Bartek's going around the outside of the Degners and force Chicken into a collision with the Red Bull, who goes off the track. The Williams there as well getting involved with all of this kerfuffle going on. Further up the field, Finn overtakes Sin, who is currently in AI mode due to the fact he has disconnected. Avsik has retired. Not sure as to the reason why, because it wasn't a crash DNF, it was a settings DNF. Driver's getting really annoyed. Again, clip it and report it. That's how we roll here. And if it's a game bug, Sways, we can't control that. That's out of our capabilities. Currently Bartek trying around the outside of Synth, the AI, into the chicane. Go. Bartek brushes him. Trying it through. He does get that position. Aston Martin there got the run into the corner. He's going to try. Can Bartek defend the move in someone? No, he can't. Williams overtakes 4 P10, P9. For now, Middo is currently yapping at the back of Aspect for the lead. Nothing much they can really do. Sophie currently racing towards the rear of Mido. Those four actually, top four, are within DRS of each other. Through the chicane they all go. They should all be within the DRS of each other here. An Aspect pits. It's a really early pit stop from the race leader. He thinks he can go to the end on a set of hards. It would be possible because it's less than 10 laps, or a set of mediums even. It'd be less than 10 laps on a set of mediums. So maybe even a set of softs could last till the end. The Red Bull's also in. Bartek currently sat in P6. So after penalties we'll see where everyone goes to. Mido leads. Not really much to say. It's a quiet race at this moment in time. Front three. Bartek overtaking Finn, overtaking Synth there. The Aston Martin driver being overtaken by the Scuderia, who's now being threatened by an Alpine, the Aston Martin. An Alpine with half a wing who runs deep. Really not something you're going to be seeing through that section of track. Here they go, they're pushing each other through. Rocky on the outside switches to the inside, forces him off the track. Rocky's overtaken. I think Rocky did give up the place there. Mido's still in the lead. See the Williams really trying to get past. That's Alpine there. Going deep, he's lost it. He's, I think, clipped the curb and hit the grass and started to brake and went really far out. Aspect overtaking Bartek there. He's on a charge up the field at the moment to try and get back into the lead. Chicken pits. Chicken will return out into this race at some point into a bit of clean air. Yeah, not really much to comment on. Everyone's just slightly too far away for stuff to happen, apart from I guess the lead two are now as close as they can be to each other, so... we can see they're really trying. Aspect's still pushing those laps through. Bartek pitting again here, hopefully to get rid of that penalty that he has. Synth as well in the pit lane. Those guys really trying to get their pit stops worth. Dafu currently P3, been there for a while. The race leaders not really doing much. They're still sort of staying in their own place. Into the lead tries Sophie. They ran through the chicane. Side by side, they touch more. Sophie will have the DRS here. Into the final corner. Sophie will take the lead here undoubtedly. Daffy gets another penalty. So he's going to be released into a gap. Be released into a nice gap between Rocky and the Red Bull there. Race dying down a bit and my voice is starting to hurt a bit, which is why I'm speaking less. I'm trying to save my voice because I have a commentary tomorrow as well. I have a bit of a dry throat, which doesn't help. But it's all fine and dandy at the end of the day. One of the keys here, though, is this fight for the lead. Could Afsik take the win or not is the question. Sophie still leading. Mido second, Afsik. Aspect P3. So for now, I have a feeling this might be where the finishing order stays and who will be where by the checkered flag. Continue on with the session. Bartek is running close to the rear of a Red Bull and I've turned off the timing tab by accident. Bartek gets through on the Red Bull. So Bartek keeps that position for now. Keeping ahead of the Red Bull. Oh, Bartek's very deep. Bartek loses the place to the Alpine. Here we watch the lead battle. Currently Bartek being re-overtaken by the Red Bull there. Continue on, 2 to go for the race leader. Red Bull falling to the back of the field there, same with Chicken. Chicken, I think, spun as well. So unfortunately for him, he'll be finishing last, but maybe not because of a penalty or two. Onto the final lap. We go, the race leaders on the final lap. Finn is set to score Sauber's best result so far. Chicken taking the lead. To the final lap they go. Currently Sophie leads from Mido, and I have a feeling it's going to stay that way across the start finish line. We'll see if there's any last ditch attempt Mido can do to get the win in Suzuka, but I don't think it will be enough. It's going to be for the first time men step aside, the women come through to claim their first victory. Sophie claims her first victory. Donna's been involved in an accident. Aspec finishes third. In fourth place is most likely going to be Finn. In the Kick Sauber, fifth is looking like it's going to be Dafu. Finn gets a 10-second penalty. That won't affect anything. Same with Dafu's penalty with Rocky. That shouldn't affect much. Depending on how many seconds Rocky has, it might. But Dafu across the line in P5. Rocky to finish P6. No, to finish P5 because of Dafu's penalties. So Dafu P6. Chicken will come across the line here in P7. P8 is going to be Jacob. P9 will be Synth. And P10 will be Bartek. And with that, that is your race over here this weekend. We'll see what happens. We'll get the results done, and then we can all be happy, and then we can all celebrate next weekend. Join us possibly tomorrow, where we'll be commentating on a Classics League. Maybe not here, but on a different account, but it will definitely be me. And join us on the weekend for WEFC, which will be hosted at some point on the weekend. That is it. We will see you